Hello, I'm going to show you how I design an album in Fundy Designer Suite version 10. So I've opened up the Fundy software, and the first thing that pops up is this window. And actually it's this window that popped up, and I clicked on New Project to start a new album design. So what I'm going to do is design an album for my clients Desiree and Andrew's wedding. I clicked Browse and I navigated to their client folder on my computer so that this project will get saved in that file so that everything's all organized in one place. So I'm going to name this project Desiree and Andrew's wedding album. And then hit OK. And then you'll see at the top here you can choose which module you'd like to start designing with, and I'm going to pick the album design module, which is right here. New album. And then in this window are your album options. You can pick your print company, and I actually have favorited Red Tree Albums because they're the album provider that I use. So I'm going to just go ahead and click them, but if you scroll down, now I don't know how to unclick it. Anyways, if you don't have it clicked, you can scroll down, and pretty much any album company there is available in this window. So you pick your album company and then hit Next, and then it'll give you options for what line of books or albums they have. Like at this point, I don't know if Desiree and Andrew are going to pick a leather album or a fabric album, but it doesn't matter because the files are going to be the same size. I just always go with the higher end option just in case it matters, but I don't think it does. As far as the file sizes and the quality and everything's the same. This only matters, I think, if you are actually doing your order through Fundy, which some of the album companies offer direct ordering through Fundy, where you can choose all your options right here within Fundy and then just order the album. But I don't do that. I go through the Red Tree website to order my albums. So I'm going to go ahead and just click Leather Album and then hit Next. And then I always choose the largest size. I only offer square albums, and this is the reason why, because if I design a 12 by 12 album, the files are going to be sized for 12 by 12 pages. But if they decide they only want a 10 by 10 album, I can still use those files because to resize the files down to a 10 by 10 isn't going to affect the quality, where if I had an 8 by 8 or a 10 by 10 album and then tried to make it bigger to a 12 by 12, that could affect the quality. So I'm just going to click on the 12 by 12 album, and then for the cover, sometimes I'll design it with a cameo just so I can show them that's what it'll look like if they do decide to add on a cameo. But I'm just going to do the standard cover right now. You don't have to click any of this. And then we just review everything, and it looks great to me. And here we're going to name it Desiree and Andrew's album. And we hit create. So this brings us to the design software, and the first thing I'm going to do is add the photos. And if you remember, I talked about how in Lightroom I selected all the highlights from their wedding and added them to a separate folder on my computer. So I'm just going to click add photos, and then I'm going to go find that folder right here, highlights. I'm going to select all by hitting Control A and import. So you can see I had selected 179 highlights, which is kind of a lot. Usually I try to go for between 100 and 125, but that's okay. You'll see. So this is going to take a little while. It takes a little bit to import 179 images, but we'll wait. Plus I'm running the screencast excuse me, the screencast software kind of slows my computer down a little bit. But when I went through and selected all these highlights in the Lightroom catalog, I tried to make sure they were all in order. So they should all be in order, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. So that when they get pulled into here, the album images should all be in order. And I'll show you why that's important in just a minute. So we'll sit here and wait. Almost there. I'm so excited to show you guys how this works because this is like a total game changer. I used to design my albums in Photoshop using album templates, and it would take me weeks to design an album. And I can literally design an album right now in like 10 minutes. And it's actually fun. Yay, we're almost there. Okay, awesome. So here are all the photos at the bottom. You'll see them all down here in this strip. And there's a lot of features in this software, but I'm just going to go over what I do. And then if you decide to get the software, there's a free trial. You can go in and you can explore, and they have tons of tutorial videos, and I'm sure other people do this differently, but I'm just going to show you how I do it. So here are all the highlights. I'm going to click Auto Design. We are going to make a 30-page album. We are going to use all the images. We are going to say that each spread should have a minimum of, we'll do 1. And then we'll do, we'll leave that at 15. Because 179 is a lot of images. This is just a starting point, so we'll see what happens here. We're going to design an album, and we want to click for the aspect ratios mixed, which means that the software will automatically just kind of decide which ratio will work best for what photo. And then we're going to use the entire collection, and we're going to sort it by file name. And that's why I always rename the files in order so that they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That way when the album gets auto-designed, all these pictures are going to be in order in the album. So we click Design, and it's only going to take a little bit to do it. I don't know if that worked when I clicked it. There it goes. Boom. Okay, so here we have a wedding album. You'll notice that the software couldn't use all the pictures sometimes. Let me see if any are missing here. If it actually used all of them, I'm going to be surprised. Oh, it did. Sometimes like I'll pick a minimum or a maximum of like 10 pictures per spread, and it'll decide which ones should go in the spread and which shouldn't, and sometimes there will be pictures down here that didn't get put into the album. But you can tell by these blue ones that this photo was used one time in this design. So they all were used. So that's pretty cool because this is going to make it super easy. Then what I'm going to do is double click. Let me go back. You can see this is pages 1, 2, which is the first spread, pages 3, 4, second spread, and so on. Usually it does a pretty good job of just designing the spreads. If you wanted to change the way the spread looks, there's this little button right here, shuffle the auto design, and it'll shuffle the design for you. So you can kind of go through and pick which one you like best. Then you can double click it and it brings up this bigger view that you can then decide if you want to take photos out or rearrange the photos. I might move these over here. I think that looks good like that. If you wanted to, you can click this button and it'll flip the spread left to right. So, like mirroring. Then you click view and it goes right back to the other view. So let's do that for this one. If you decide that you don't want an image in the spread, I like all of these. I'm going to leave them here. You can click layouts up here and it'll take you to the actual layouts. Any layout you want is in here. There's pages and pages and pages of it. You can go through and look through all the different layouts and it gives you a preview of what it'll look like, which is really cool. Let's see, how do I go back? Right here. Okay. So I'm going to just leave this one because it's great how it is. This one, let's say we decide we don't want this photo. You click it, right click, remove image. Simple as that. You can decide you want these bigger. You can drag, click and drag things around. There's just so much you can do in here. It's amazing. I think I'll move this here, move this here. I'm actually going to get rid of that. You can keep an eye on the center fold here to make sure there isn't any heads or anything that are going to get stuck in the middle of that crease. And you can see down here that anything in the red is going to get cut off. Anything inside the green is safe. So those are some things to watch out for. But I'm going to go through each spread here. I don't want this in here. I don't want this in here. I don't want that in there. I'm going to go back and shuffle this design. I'm going to, no, I'll keep that there. Swap those. There. This is the ceremony. I have a lot of like random pictures of people hugging and stuff. I think I'm just going to remove those because that's not very important to the story. This one here, this is when he saw her coming down the aisle, and I want that to be next to the photo of her coming down the aisle, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to remove that. Alright, I think that's okay. Here we go. Alright. Oh, there's a better picture right here of him getting all emotional and everybody else getting all emotional. I'm going to move this down here, move this here, move this here, move this here, move this here, move that there. You can double click on a photo. Oh no, that's not what you do. If you have a photo selected, you can click this little tool, and there's a tool that you can zoom in and out with, so you can move it around, get it just how you want it, and I'll show you something else really cool in just a second. Oh, you can hit Control Z and it'll undo what you just did. I'm gonna remove this and this and this. These two are basically the same. And these are pretty much the same too. And now we've made a completely different layout here, so I think I'm gonna go back and shuffle it again. Put that there, put that there. No, that there. I love that photo. There we go. That looks perfect. Okay. Then we've got, move that, move that, move that, move that. I'm gonna keep that. All right, these, I know I want that gone. I don't like how this is going right through the center of their heads, so I think I'm gonna get rid of a bunch of these. Get rid of that. I'm liking that. I'm gonna change this layout. I'm gonna keep that. That's important. Let's see. That looks good. Yep, love it. Oh, I'm gonna take that out. Let me go back to the layout here. Oh, these need to go. Go back to the layout. Oh, this should go here. This should go here. There we go. Okay, that's good. All right, this one. Don't need that. I'm gonna swap this. Cake cutting. Don't need that. Don't need that. I like that. Okay. This one. All right. I'm gonna take that black and white out because it doesn't really go here. All right. These are like my favorite. This one. That one. Let me mess around with this layout. This little yellow triangle means that my file isn't big enough for this large of a photo, which is my fault for exporting it from Lightroom too small. So that's okay. I just am going to find a layout that works. I actually love that one. Let me go back. Hitting Control Z to go back twice. There we go. Oh, the yellow thing is there. Let me see if I can change this. Let me go to layouts. This one. There, look at it, it's perfect. Okay, so what I was going to show you is, this is super awesome. If you click on this photo, let me think. You click on the Edit Image in External Editor, and you can set this up in your preferences up here. Mine is set up to just open it up in Photoshop. So it's just going to bring this image right into Photoshop. I can go in and edit the photo in Photoshop, and there's, I don't know, there's not really anything here I'd edit. Maybe I'll just like remove some moles off of her arm so you can see, or maybe I want to just like make this a little bit brighter. Okay, flatten, and then close it out. It asks you if you want to save it. You click yes. This is going to save it to the original file, so whatever changes you make, be aware that your original file is also going to be changed. But then you go back to Fundy, and it's going to just show the changes right here. So you can see the moles are gone off her arm, and it's a little bit brighter. So that's super awesome that you can do that. And now we're down here. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'll keep that. I'm going to get rid of that, get rid of that. This guy looks like a zombie. I'm actually going to remove these because I want them to be on the very last page. Let me go here. Alright, this is taking too long. I'm just going to go to the layouts. I think I'm going to pick this one. I want to put this one there. Put this here, put this here, put this here. Okay. And then for the last spread, oh actually this is not the last spread. We got this one, everybody's partying, having a good time. I think that looks great just the way it is. This one, okay. Let's go back to those two that I said I want on the last spread. These two. We're just gonna, you just select the ones that you want from the film strip down here. I hit Control so I can select two of them and then just drag them and drop them into the spread. Then, oh, see what I did? Put that back in there. There, that way I don't have doubles. Alright, this one I'm gonna do this. Let me just make sure everything looks good. Yep, so there we go. Album design. It took me how long? I don't know, a matter of minutes. So then the next thing I'll do is click this and export for proofer. Then I'm going to navigate back to their folder on my computer, and I'm going to start a new folder, call it album. And then this is the folder, or actually no, I'm gonna do another folder inside the album folder and call it proof 1, just so I can keep track of if they decide to make changes. Each proof will have its own folder, so I don't get confused. Gonna leave everything here, hit export. So what it's gonna do is export the files for each spread as like a low-res file for web viewing. And then once they go ahead and approve their design, I'll open it back up here in Fundy, and I'll go back here and click export for print. And then that will go in a folder inside that album folder called final. And those are the files that you send in to actually be printed. So this takes a little bit of time. It's actually running pretty slow because of the screen share software that I'm running. So we'll wait for this to export, and then I'll show you real quick how I set up the Fundy Design Proofer so that my clients can go online and virtually flip through all the spreads of their album. This is like a huge game changer because, you know, after I deliver their photo gallery and they tell me that they love their photos, I go, hey, I designed this album for you because I love your photos too, and I just, you know, really think that you need an album, and here, just click this link and you can virtually flip through this album, and you can request changes if you want, and if you want to order this album in the next, you know, week, I'm offering 20% off. And I'm telling you, like 9 times out of 10, they go for it and they order the album because they see like, oh, they're like so in love with their photos, and they're like, yes, we do need an album. And up until that point, I think they don't really get it, but when you get to them right at that point after you've delivered their gallery and they're just in love with their photos, they're much more likely to want to buy an album at that point. So, all right, we are almost done. Oh my gosh, this is taking so long. I'm not used to it taking so long. That's okay though. I'm so excited for you to try all this. You can make so much more money selling albums along with your services. Okay, so it's automatically opened up the window on my computer where the files are, and you can see here are the spreads. They're all numbered. And then it provides like a placeholder back cover and cover for you. So that's awesome. And then it asks, would you like to go to the Design Proofer login and sign up page? I'm going to click yes. And so here we are. And we can create a new proof. And we're going to call it Desiree and Andrew's wedding album. And then they're not in here, so I will add. I'm just going to put my email address for now because I don't want to look hers up. Just for the sake of this video. Hit save client. I have a proofing agreement that explains, you know, how many changes they're allowed for free, how it works. That's important, I think, because if you don't set limits, people will take forever and make a million changes sometimes, and it just can drag on for months and months and months. So I have time limits for everything. I have limits on how many changes they can make. My proofing agreement says they're allowed to make 3 revisions at no extra charge. So they get 3 shots to make as many changes as they want before it gets ordered. Or they have to pay $50 each for each additional revision after that, and that usually gives them enough incentive to not let it drag on and on and on. I don't click this because this means each change. Like if they say, I would like this photo swapped out with another photo, that counts as one change. Where I go by revisions, they can make as many changes as they want per revision. I want them to, love their album, so they can make as many changes as they want, and they have 1 week to make their changes, or their requests for the changes. So this is the only other thing I check: enable third-party image gallery, and I have their gallery pulled up right here. I use PicTime for my galleries. So all I do is click and copy this link and paste it here, and that's awesome because then when they go in to look at the spreads and flip through the album, if they want to make changes, they can immediately access that gallery, and it'll have all the photos numbered for them, so they can just say, I'd like to replace this photo with number 178 or whatever. Makes it super easy. So here's where you select the files. Let's see here. We're gonna go in here, and here, album, proof 1. And you just select all, including the cover and back cover. And this shouldn't take very long at all. I'm gonna hit save. It shows you, it automatically has the cover and back cover in the right place, and since the files are all numbered correctly, everything's good to go. If you wanted to, you can create a faux cover by clicking this, and there's some options for different colors and things, but I just leave the placeholder covers because they don't really care. And this, I've never really messed with this. It looks good as it is, so I just save that. And then I leave these off and I hit save. If you hit finish and send client email, it'll automatically send it to your clients, but I want to be able to edit that email, so I hit save. So you'll see here, Desiree and Andrew's wedding album, and if you click on the links, here's the link to share with your clients. That's what I send them, and we'll open it up so you can see what it looks like. Got my logo at the top, and here's where they can start flipping through like virtual page flipping. Go through each spread. They can approve the design of each spread, or they can request changes. If they request changes, it'll bring up my client proofing agreement. And then they can scroll down, and let's say they decide they want this photo removed. They can click the comment box. They can drag it to whatever photo they want to talk about. So let's say it's this one. They can say, remove this photo. Then I will get an email saying that there has been some comments on the design, and then I can go in and go back to Fundy and remove that photo. This one. Remove it. And then I would start a new proof for the new revision if that was the only change that they asked for. So you get the idea, and when they're all done, they can approve the pages. Here's where they can click, and it brings them right to their gallery. So it's super fast and easy and very convenient for everybody. So, alright, that is my tutorial on how to use Fundy Designer, or how I use it anyway. And hopefully that helps you and you are as excited as I am about making albums.